There's a lot going on in the world right now, isn't there? Are you doing okay? I hope so. Now, as much as we could sit here and talk about all those terrible things happening in the world right now, all the deception, all the lies, we've seen the reels, we've seen the news, and I want to kind of get us off of that track just slightly. I want to talk about disclosure. And I think that one big problem with disclosure that we face, specifically, the US government or any other government around the world coming out and saying, hey, aliens are real, here's proof, etc. The big problem with that kind of disclosure, specifically among like the paranormal community, the conspiracy community, we generally don't trust anything that the government says, right? I mean, if the government says it, it's probably a lie. I think that's generally pretty true. So that's kind of our catch-22 here, isn't it? With disclosure. We want disclosure. We want the government, the US government specifically, to really come out and say, to lay it all out there, right? To tell us exactly what's going on with extraterrestrials, with interdimensional beings, whatever they are. If they're real, if they're not, we want them to be totally clear. Completely transparent, right? But are we going to believe them? And that's the thing that I struggle with. As much as I would love for Congress or the president or anybody in high standing in the U.S. government or in the Chinese government to come out and just be completely transparent. We have been, I don't know if it's the right word or the right phrase, but we have been psyoped so many times, so consistently and so effectively that at this point we have to assume safely that almost everything that comes out of any government is some kind of psyop. Now, I know that sounds kind of jaded, and I think in a lot of ways it is. I've been on this planet for a few decades now, and what I've seen coming out of the US government has consistently and regularly been pretty bad. I have rarely, hardly ever seen anything come out of our government that has been good, that's made me feel good, that's given me hope for the future. I've hardly seen anyone in the US government say anything that leads me to believe them. And that's the problem with disclosure. We have a lot of these so-called whistleblowers coming out and trying to tell us what they're allowed to tell us, which is a big red flag. If they come out tomorrow and they say, hey, aliens are real. They're absolutely real. Area 51, Roswell, Dulce Base, whatever conspiracy you want to latch onto, whatever historical event or urban legend or paranormal story you want to latch onto, that's real. It's all real. And they're a threat. We immediately go to, in our minds, we immediately go to something like Project Bluebeam, which has been making its rounds online. And if they admit to us that aliens are real, wouldn't that just kind of send us down another spiral? Wouldn't that just kind of send us into another, death spiral of conspiracies? And it does, honestly, remind me of this one Bible verse. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth, for there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies. And I would say, while that's specifically about the devil, I think that's pretty true of our government too. Almost everything out of their mouths is a lie. And that's a problem. It is like the boy who cried wolf. And I think there are some people, there are very few and far in between, in the US government specifically, that can honestly be trusted, that really have our best interest at heart right now, specifically with disclosure. So thank you for watching. Do what you want with the buttons below. I just appreciate you watching and supporting this channel, even with just a view. And for those of you who have made it this far, this is not really the format I want to go with permanently, but I had to get something out there. I had to add something to this channel, kind of get the ball rolling and get the conversation started on this channel. Thank you.